I have a dedication for Team and Family Delaney. Mainly Carolyn, Tamika, Joanna, and Crystal. And now the grandchildren. And I want you all to know no one's given up on Joe 37. I guess I'll give everybody else a little background. When I was 10 years old, football fanatic, still a football fanatic, Lawson Lambert and I, and Trent Hens and I, and my friends, I mean, we loved football so much, we played one-on-one tackle football, which is really nothing more than a wrestling match. But I remember this running back I was so in love with because he was little. He was kind of Mercury Morris meets Tyreek Hill as a running back, maybe just a little bit bigger. I think Joe was 5'10". But little guy, lightning fast. Country boy, just everything about his story was underdog. You're too little, who knows where you're from. It's everything about the story of Joe Delaney up to the end of it was the perfect Cinderella story. And I remember even as a kid, there was something special about him when he played. And I remember it so specifically because I had his name wrong. I'd call him Joe Danello. And my friend Lawson Lambert would say, it's Delaney, it's Delaney. So it kind of got ingrained in me. And right when he was becoming, if not my one favorite player, certainly one of them, it hit the news that he was at a picnic in Louisiana near his hometown, and some kids got in this pond that were waiting on a water slide, and it's such a mystery how it happened or how it went down, but apparently Joe either saw or heard what no one else did and ran to get the kids out of the water. The only problem is Joe couldn't swim, and what's so divine about the whole story is Joe knew he couldn't swim. The cause of Joe Delaney's death on that day wasn't drowning, it was cardiac arrest. He literally ran into his greatest fear because he was petrified of water. Because all he knew was there's some kids who he saw go under the water and not come up. There were 3 of them, Joe got one of them out and died with the other 2. This poor kid had just hit his dreams. He had a new family, 3 girls, lovely wife, his childhood sweetheart, his hometown sweetheart. Everything about the story is both spectacular and tragic. And otherworldly, spiritual, all at once. And it always fascinated me. Even when I was 10, and through the years I thought about it, and more, the death of Joe Delaney always made me ask, who am I? Do I have what it takes? And in a moment where I don't have time to think about it, do I have time to run into the line of fire of what would be one of my biggest nightmares? And I thought of one would be, back when I was surfing, someone, if I saw a shark attack against someone, close enough that I could help, but also close enough that I could get my ass to shore. I often thought about, in that kind of moment, who am I? In the story of Joe Delaney, especially his sacrifice, it makes us all ask, who am I? And we all want to think we're that person who would do that. And Joe Delaney's one of the rare gems who, when called upon, delivered in the most magnificent, selfless, courageous ways. So when I got into screenwriting, it hit me at one time. I heard Mike Singletary sharing a story about Joe Delaney, and then it hit me why the story of Joe always inspired me. It's because I was the one destined to write a script about Joe Delaney. So I looked up Carolyn Delaney, and she was a sweetheart. And so I went to Joe's hometown, met with her. I've been there a couple times now. So we put a script together that we're going with now, but it needs a little work. The structure's there, the hard part's done. I need to fine tune a few things. I took it as far as my budget could take it, because I need to go see Carolyn a few more trips and just really fine tooth comb it, because it's it's so divinely inspired that it came so easily. I didn't even write it. I just kind of, bam. I let the story of Joe Delaney tell itself, but what I wanted to do with it more than anything was enjoy that underdog story, that fun trip up that Carolyn got to enjoy so briefly, and that the girls were almost too young to really grasp, but that they can go back and the grandkids can go back and watch how thrilling that must have been for Joe and Carolyn to live that underdog story up until his heroic death. So, problem is, I'm kind of a nobody, at least, and it's certainly as far as the NFL is concerned. Had I written this thing 20 years ago, I could have walked into the Kansas City chief office, kicked open the door, and said, "Hey, Mr. Hunt, I'm writing a script about Joe Delaney to remind this league that you guys have a team." And he would have pulled out a check and said, "How much, Shelton? You want some friends to play roles? Sure, whatever. Is that enough budget? Okay, we'll get you all your NFL licensing." That would have happened, and that should have happened already, if it weren't for one young man who stepped into the picture and really became a problem to this plan. Out of nowhere, as far as I was concerned, all of a sudden, this really humble kid with this cute little voice who sounds like a member of my family because he went to the same college my dad went to, and he happened to end up in Kansas City, and next thing you know, young Mr. 2020 Jerry Curl Patrick Mahomes has made the Chiefs the hottest team in the league, where, well, they don't need a movie about one of their players, but I still think it's the right thing to do to make a movie about Joe. And I think the Chiefs should be embarrassed they haven't already, to be honest with you. Philadelphia makes a movie about a guy, Vince Papale, who would probably agree with what I'm saying. He'd be like, "Man, I got famous for drinking beer and playing backyard football. I luckily got on the field for a couple plays." He'd be the first, I bet, to say, "Make a freaking movie about Joe Delaney." So, I don't know why the Chiefs are dragged. I've tried to get their attention. I've reached out to everyone I could. Obviously, Carolyn knows it has her blessing. I've spoken with Deron Cherry, Lloyd Burris, who was Joe's roommate at training camp his first year, Marv Levy, which was a real treat as a Bills fan, Mike Singletary, I'm forgetting a few people, but Joe's college coach. I've just met just some really cool people close to the story who helped me write it and helped give me the stories to work with. But it's really close to being ready, and I need a couple people in the Chiefs organization to just let everyone know it's there and that it should be done. And the more I get known for music, the more pressure I'm putting on you, Kansas City. So, Jason Whitlock, Patrick Mahomes, I need to speak to both of you. I've always felt those are going to be the two people who help get it done, because those are two people who could snap their fingers in the Kansas City area and say, "Guys, the Hunt family, now is the time, because this film needs to be made." I'm certain it would have the blessing of the Sable Family and NFL Films. It's long overdue, and I'm grateful to be the one called to write the script, because the story always meant so much to me. But it shouldn't be me who wrote this script. So anyway, I have the script. I'll let anyone see it who wants, and let's get a buzz about it. And in the meantime, the best I can do to compliment Joe number 37, or just Joe 37. The tagline of the script I wrote says, "Hesitation could steal your destiny." And in this song, I try to keep that same theme, and we'll call it a little mini movie for the moment, but it's for Carolyn and the girls to let them know that I'm still trying to push this thing forward, and things are going really well in other ways that might open the door for this. We just need to get the right people involved. Dak Prescott, you're from Houghton. You know Carolyn. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Dak. That's another one. Yeah. Anyone know these people? I know they'd want to do it. Carolyn Delaney said Dak has been in this house several times. So He went to the same high school as Joe. It's just, there's so many names. Jackie Slater, I ran into him at the grocery store the other day. I'm going to be reaching out to him. But let's get it done. In the meantime, the best I can do is this song. Hesitation can steal your destiny, and I hope you enjoy it. Delaney family, don't give up. Your father, grandfather, husband is lived a life as admirable as any, and most of all died. The death is admirable as any. So I love what his story meant to me, and he couldn't have done it without you. So those in the Delaney clan, hopefully this song will inspire and encourage and help all of us keep such a beautiful man's, I would say legend, but that implies it's not true. Legend. It fits. Hot to Chicago in June makes a new engine melt. An 83 swampy afternoon, exactly how it must have felt. Something about the cry of a kid, or Delaney saw what no one did, but like a deer to the valley of fear. God didn't draft him, Joe volunteered. A better source for the water slide, a fence 13 feet high, spraying mist and line, a lifeguard near. Of things changed, Joe Alton's here. But time calls your name, the end result's the same. No hero hesitates, 'cause destiny calls but never waits. Destiny calls but never waits. When Carolyn got the bleak phone call, must have felt a name and number wrong. A blink ago before even missed, Joe joked he forgot his goodbye kiss. Don't forget your goodbye kisses. Don't forget your goodbye kisses. Joe left a goodbye kiss. Joe left a goodbye kiss. Didn't sit sour and sweet all hour. Why is Joe so loyal about? But Crystal and Blue avoid this game, 'cause balls in the one true Hall of Fame. 'Cause Donna calls your name, the end result's the same. No 'cause destiny calls, but never waits. Destiny calls, but never waits. I hope that encourages the Delaney family. I knew I had to mention Carolyn, and if you're wondering, Crystal and Crew was the best I could do with you girls. Those 3-syllable names are killing me. Carolyn, what were you and Joe thinking? Weren't y'all thinking about me? To me, come on now. It was Crystal and Crew fit in this is the best. I was trying to get everyone. So, Joanna and Tamika, please don't feel slighted. You're there. Your spirit's in this as much as any. But with my limited skills, that was the best I could do. I just love the story of your dad, and I'm gonna do everything I can. We're gonna get this film made. Just we're one connection away from making it happen. I'll put the pressure on the Hunt family. Don't worry about that. I just need to get my foot in the door there, and we're gonna keep trying that. I hate to say, because I love Patrick Mahomes. He's such a good kid, and I love, again, his voice. It just cracks me up. But it had me rooting against him because the Chiefs were so good. They were never going to get to a movie about Joe Delaney. And I can assure you, there's been no son of a bitch more miserable in this world than someone rooting against Patrick Mahomes. So I hope you're seeing this, Mahomes. This film needs to happen. Joe 37, please reach out to me. And we'll get the blessing of the Hunt family and Sable family. And we'll make we'll make the best movie ever, because the story of Joe Delaney's the greatest story of a human life ever. I don't know anyone who crammed more into 23 years than that young man. And he deserves a film like no human who's ever existed. So, let's do it. Let's do it. It's long overdue. Thank you.